Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
A lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to. He look crazy, Bill.
Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Wednesday morning. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button, as we'll be here with you up until 9 a.m. this morning. Full crew, full house. The carpool queen is here. Katie is here. Lloyd is here. Stewie is here on this Wednesday morning, as we will talk to Brody Miller coming up here at 8 a.m. this morning. Brody's got a good article about LSU and just kind of the state of the program right now with Jayden Daniels returning and what it means for the offense. We'll talk to him about bowl preparation as LSU is over in Orlando with this new rule with bowls not counting towards redshirt and eligibility, what that means for the quarterback room coming up here for the Citrus Bowl that will feature a newly inked NIL athlete, Garrett Nussmeier, inked to a Cheez-It deal. Wonder if Cheez-It knows something that we all don't know.
Whoa, do you think they're getting in early?
I don't know, man. Maybe they think they're getting the starting quarterback for LSU.
Or somewhere else?
Maybe so.
A little portal?
I don't know.
Portal.
Well, he's in the Cheez-It Bowl, which, by the way, Cheez-It has 2 games.
Yeah.
In the
I see what you're saying. You think he's going to start this game.
Right.
Okay. I'm with you now. Now I'm with you. I thought you were doing like a long-term deal. I'm with you. And sorry, it took me a second.
Still in our conversation before the show started.
Miss Jones.
But we will ask Brody what that means. Remember, daily, our phone line is brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. Brody will be here at 8 o'clock, part of The Athletic. Real doctors, real solutions, Metropolitan Health Group, Jason Ramazan and Charlie Harvey. And, of course, Go Chevrolet drives us every single day. All right, yesterday I said that the Sean Payton smoke looked like it could have a landing spot in New Orleans. Now this stuff's just got too unbelievable. Now I think that New Orleans is just a place that they're using for leverage here, as yesterday there was a report that came out that is linking New Orleans to possibly landing Sean Payton and Tom Brady.
To do what? What's Tom Brady going to do?
The story
Come play quarterback in New Orleans.
He's going to play football again?
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean,
once you lose your wife.
Yeah, you can't close the book on Brady yet.
No.
He's not retired.
Like, he said he's not done.
He's not retired.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
He's not going anywhere.
Wait, right? Like,
He's still playing.
I know that.
Giselle didn't see him for
You
Christmas.
think he needs to be still playing?
He's good.
Yeah.
He's still good. He's better
Is
than
he?
Dak.
Okay.
And the Sean Payton, Tom Brady love affair has to happen.
Well, at some point now you feel like it has to, right? I mean, like they have flirted so many off seasons. They've talked about it so much. Obviously,
they got busted.
The Miami story that bubbled over last summer that got them into a little bit of trouble, got the Miami franchise into some trouble in which they've had to pay some penalties on. But Sean Payton and I saw Jeff Duncan came out yesterday and said that Dennis Allen's job is safe, which I've been kind of leaning all of my confidence on what Jeff Duncan was saying over at NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. He's got a great relationship with Sean Payton. Actually wrote one of his books, a great book about Breeze and Payton and how they rewrote the record books of the offense in the NFL. But it looks as if the Saints, Payton, and now the Brady story are not going to work out. I don't know where they land. If I had to bet on where Sean Payton would be coaching next year, I would place the majority of my confidence in the Dallas Cowboys. I think all in all, this, a lot like the flirtation with Brady over the last couple of off seasons has gone for Sean Payton. There's always been a constant that has flirted with him and that has talked with him and has been someone who Payton respects and has worked for, is the Cowboys organization and Jerry Jones. And I think Payton likes the fact that the Cowboys are in the discussion as one of the biggest brands in sports, right? I'd put the Lakers, the Celtics, the Cowboys, the Yankees in that discussion of just, the largest sport brands in the world, probably. I mean, I'm sure there's some soccer clubs that would be put in there, but I mean, outside of that, the Cowboys are in that discussion from the NFL as one of the most recognizable brands in the world. I think Payton likes that a little bit. Obviously, he's got the front office recognition, or he at least knows and understands and is familiar with the front office and how the Joneses run that organization. And I think, from Jerry Jones' standpoint, he looks at Sean Payton as one of, someone like Parcells. The way that, Jerry Jones has given up power for the Dallas Cowboys only a small amount of times. Early on, he did it with Jimmy Johnson. He fought for it back. Johnson said, "I'm going and I'm leaving." He tried to do it his way for a long time, and then he hired Bill Parcells, and Parcells says, "If you bring me in, this is how we're going to do it." He listened to Parcells. He let him do what he wanted to do, and that's where Jerry Jones met Sean Payton, is when Bill Parcells was running the Cowboys, and Parcells brought him in as an offensive coordinator. And Jones and Payton had a great relationship. Talked about things outside of football. And I think it's a place that Payton's always looked at and said, if it became available, and I can't imagine that Mike McCarthy is, sitting in a very comfortable seat. I know last week's win over Philadelphia did him some good, but I think if he'd have lost that game, you would have started to hear some rumblings of his job being in jeopardy. And it's obvious that Payton wants to come back. And it seems to me if Payton does come back, he's looking for a perfect scenario. I thought the perfect scenario existed in New Orleans. It still does. But the more and more this comes out, and after what Jeff Duncan tweeted yesterday saying that Dennis Allen's job is safe for now in New Orleans, leads me to believe that the ship in the Crescent City waiting on Sean Payton has sailed. So the Payton-Brady story, I think, is a lot of smoke in the NFL. It seems like it has to happen just because they've talked about it so long, but it seems like one of these things that's almost impossible to make happen and that we'll never see it. I know that Brady's a free agent in the offseason. Dak has been inked to a long-term deal in Dallas. I don't know what the market is for Dak if that was to open up. But to make that happen in a place like Dallas would be very logistically tough. And, I think that Payton, he's got a lot of confidence of being able to coach that position up. We'll see. I don't know what that'll going to look like.
If there's any avenue for them to be in Dallas, it would be Dak being traded to the Saints for Sean Payton. But I don't want Dak Prescott if you're a Saints fan.
No.
He doesn't really move the needle for me.
You want those
Tom Brady, Sean Payton.
Well, you want those picks.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I'm not sure if Jerry Jones, who is he is a draft whore. He loves the draft and he loves
the
picks.
spotlight. Yeah.
If he'd be willing to hand over his top round picks for Sean Payton, because Payton's still going to be he's gonna demand a lot.
If you're New Orleans, I mean, you trade him, but only 4 picks, right? Like, you don't want players, you want picks. But if you're Sean Payton, it really does seem like there is an avenue. I know we don't want to believe it, but it feels like there is an avenue where if Tom Brady and Sean Payton want to play together, coach player, New Orleans is like kind of the only spot where it could happen. It feels like right now,
Possibly,
right? Like, where else would they go together? There's not, like, Miami's not on the table.
I think they believe that they can move mountains. Those
Right.
two. They can probably say and dictate what they want, where they want. They'll probably, if Sean Payton told Jerry Jones, "I'm coming, I'm bringing Brady with me,"
You gotta
Jones
get
is
rid of
probably
Dak.
he's probably working the back lines on who's going to pick up Dak. He'll probably make that happen. But I'm not.
Usually in Tom Brady would go to Dallas.
I'm saying Tom Brady would go wherever Sean Payton is.
Yeah, don't matter. Don't matter.
And Jerry Jones is salivating with the star on Tom Brady. Like, to have him in that
my
jersey.
God.
Oh, my God.
You got the best football player out there playing in the
Oh,
Star.
circumcise the mosquito now.
I mean,
Do y'all think Tom Brady should keep playing?
Absolutely.
Why? And when he was retiring, you were like, why would he play again? Now, why are you switching back? Just because of Sean Payton?
No, but, well, that does have something to do with it. But now he's obviously very invested in his football life because he decided
He's
to
always
leave
been
his
invested
wife
in
for
his football
football.
life.
Yeah, so he left his wife, so he's not going to quit just for 1 year.
And he can still
now
play.
he has to double down.
Kind of. He's not great like he was before, though.
Yeah, but did you see the Saints game?
Well, yeah.
That's Tom Brady's greatness right there.
Did you see him this weekend?
Right.
He
like,
did it again?
This is greatness.
Well, I'm not saying he's not good, but he's not who he was before. Like, how long can he sustain that?
Well, if he's
I mean,
still
that's-
doing that, then
That's the
on
$1
drugs.
million question with Brady. I mean, that's why everybody looks at him as almost like a robotic figure.
Yeah.
That he's doing it at this age.
I wonder what
But
Christmas was like for them.
it
this
would
year.
be fascinating to see Sean Payton work with Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it would
would.
be a lot like Breeze of working with Breeze. I mean, the same type of mind. But I mean, it's obviously something that these two have talked about and have wanted to make happen. And really and truly, if they don't make it happen next season, it's never
never
going
happening.
to happen. Right? So, I mean, this is going to be the only chance that they have to make this.
Would you want? I mean, I feel like if you put it on the poll, like we could put it on the poll, but I feel like everybody would kind of sign up for that. If it's Tom Brady, Sean Payton in New Orleans, like that's a must do, no matter how long it lasts. Like if you get Tom Brady for 2 years, and then he's able to, because obviously Sean Payton has this fascination with Caleb Williams. There's a way he'll move, like you said, he'll move mountains to be able to get the draft the way he wants. He doesn't care about the picks or the players. Whenever he sees somebody like he did with like he wanted to do with Patrick Mahomes, he'll make almost like career-altering or franchise-altering decisions to be able to get somebody he wants. You saw him move for Mark Ingram. You saw him move for Marcus Davenport. Like once he becomes obsessed with somebody, he's going to make the trade
Oh, well, the Saints are in the position they are now from a financial standpoint
because of Sean Payton. So he almost has to come back because you fucked us a little bit.
Yeah, but he's not. I mean, that's not going to weigh into his decision.
No, he doesn't care at all.
No.
Not or what I owe the
Right.
Saints.
Yeah.
You got a
right?
Super Bowl.
I mean, he's looking for he's really got he's got the best case scenario. I mean, he's starting to see these jobs open up, and really and truly, he can force people out of jobs that he would want. I mean, for as much as Brandon Staley looked safe on Sunday, the head coach of the Chargers hugging the owner
it's his first time making
in the playoffs. I mean, if Sean Payton picked up the phone or his agent picked up the phone and said, hey, Sean really wants that job and wants the opportunity to work with Justin Herbert, I got to believe that Chargers ownership is saying, Staley or Payton? Payton wants in. Who here wants Staley?
See you
And
later,
anybody who
Brandon.
raises their hands probably fired. You know, I mean, like,
All right,
when you
you're
have a
out.
chance to get a guy like Sean Payton who's saying and like yearning for a chance, there's people on the I mean, I would say that right now, Sean Payton could have every job in the league if he picked up the phone and wanted it outside of Kansas City with Andy Reid. I mean, I guess you would have to put Philadelphia in there because they're the number one team in the league. But still, I mean, if Sean Payton's he worked in Philadelphia, he knows the ownership there. If he was to call and say, hey, I want in and I want to work with Jalen Hurts, they'd probably say, you're out.
Yeah. Probably Pittsburgh maybe. Like,
Tomlin, okay,
yeah.
I'd buy it.
Tampa, obviously. If they didn't go get him this year with Bowles as the head coach, they obviously want to move forward with Bowles.
But if he
Sean
picked up the
Payton-
phone and called Tampa and said, I want in, Bowles is out.
Do the New Orleans Saints they obviously have to agree to whoever he goes to, right? Is that how the trade would work?
They own his
essentially,
rights.
like they own the rights to Sean Payton,
Sure,
so they're
it
not
would-
going to let him go inside the division.
I don't know if they...
No, they have to give up something.
No.
if that happens, right?
They can't control where he goes. Wherever
Yeah.
he does land,
But they
has to
could-
give up.
Right,
Yeah.
but they could decline the trade. They could be like, "No, we're not doing that."
I don't know. I don't know the specifics on that. I don't know if they could say no. I'm not sure on that. I mean,
Right? I mean, it would be like a player. It's the exact same thing. He's an asset. It doesn't matter if you're a head coach or a player. You're just an asset to a franchise. So if you're saying, "Hey, he wants to go to Tampa Bay," it's like, too bad. We don't want to trade you there. We own the rights to you.
No, but I don't think they can stop him from going somewhere.
because
they have
when
to
you
give up
retire-
something when he gets there.
when you retire, it's different than all you do is still have.
He's still contractually obligated to be a New Orleans
He's
Saint.
still contractually owned by the New Orleans Saints.
So if he says,
But
"I want
I
to go to
don't-
Tampa," they
I
would be
don't-
like, "We don't want you to go to Tampa."
You know
so,
what I mean? It was like the John Gruden thing. He was always wanting to go to Tampa. It wasn't like Oakland. The Raiders could say, "No, you can't."
well, it's kind of like a make good. Like, we'll work with you here a little bit because of the relationship you have. But if they wanted to play like hardball, you could. You could be. We don't want to trade you inside the NFC South to Tampa Bay to go work with Tom Brady. You could come here.
It's going to be interesting to see. I don't know it. I don't know enough on it to say whether yes or no. But wherever he lands, it's about to happen.
Something's going to happen.
It's going to
He's
happen
coaching
here.
again.
Well, not only that, it's going to happen quick. I mean, you're starting to see people lose their job. You're starting to see jobs open up. I mean, it's the last week or a couple, within the last few weeks of the regular season of the NFL. This is when that stuff, really starts to happen. Black Monday is the Monday after, the final Sunday of the season, and that's when you see the majority of these jobs open up. I mean, let's think out loud. I mean, right now, what jobs that are open are Carolina's open right now. Denver is open right now, which his name has popped up in both of those jobs. Arizona's most likely going to open up. Las Vegas could open up. I've seen his name tied to both of those. I've heard Sean McVay's contemplating getting into television again. And the Los Angeles Rams job possibly being vacant. If that's open, you got to imagine that he would jump on that gig.
Yeah, and they probably have draft picks.
New Orleans has
No,
a
they don't
first
have
year.
any picks.
New Orleans
Oh,
has a
yeah.
first year coach that his name keeps kind of hovering around that job. I mean, like
It feels so wild to be here. Like, if you've been a Saints fan, like, when's the last time you ever even had to have this concern? Because you had such a stalwart and Breeze and Sean Payton that you've never actually been in these scenarios before. So it's just a different time to be a Saints fan, it feels like, to where you're kind of almost chasing a little bit, as opposed to, like, I'm very comfortable with what we have in the franchise. Now it's like, I don't like my head coach. I don't like my quarterback.
How the tables
My
turn.
ex is out there. Like,
Sounds like LSU.
we gotta get it. We gotta make a move here. We gotta do something because Da ain't it. Like, I
Sounds
don't like this marriage at all.
It sounds like old time LSU.
Yes.
Like
So
my
it
ex is
says
still
that,
out there.
if he can go somewhere, the Saints could just let him go as a way to thank him for what he did for the franchise.
which
but
is
Not
not
gonna happen.
Not-
That's what I'm saying. It would be like
It's
they
a
a
would,
business,
get
favor.
Katie.
they would get a first round pick, like, to leverage the trade if he went somewhere else.
But could the Saints decline
No,
if Sean Payton said, "I
th-
want to go"?
none of this says that. It says those are their two options. They
Who
could
can we
get a
call?
trade, or they could be nice and just say, "Thank you, here you go. We're letting you go."
Who would know?
Mike Detillier would know, for sure. Well, I mean, I can text him.
Yeah.
I'll text him when we take a break. All right, remember Daily, we're brought to you by Katie's Restaurant. Speaking of New Orleans, Katie's Restaurant down in Mid-City over there. Stop by and see them on Iberville Street. Their sister restaurant, Francesca's Great Sandwich Deli downtown. Check out our friend Scott Craig and Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. It's a great neighborhood bar, great neighborhood spot to go get lunch, go catch a drink in the evening. One thing we can promise, you will feel New Orleans when you walk in there. It's a great spot if you're heading in this weekend for the Sugar Bowl. with Alabama and Kansas State playing Saturday morning. If you're looking for a place to eat, check out katiesinmidcity.com. katiesinmidcity.com is where you can find them online and check out the full selection there for Katie's Restaurant and Bar on Iberville Street down in New Orleans. And don't forget about their sister restaurant, Francesca's, which is located downtown, which is a great little sandwich deli in downtown New Orleans, as you can keep up with them online always at katiesinmidcity.com. Some news for LSU as they're in bowl preparation and getting ready for a tilt versus Purdue in the Citrus Bowl coming up on Monday. LSU had some news yesterday with Garrett Nussmeier signing an NIL deal that will allow him to stay in the feeling the cheesiest hotel room during the stay in Orlando
How could you sleep in that room?
for the Tigers.
I don't know.
Have you seen the picture of it?
It's
right
like
here.
waking up inside of a Cheez-It box, but better, Cheez-It said in a press release.
I mean, how do
How's
you
that better?
how do you sleep with all the?
I mean, like,
the color.
One thing
Like it's
that
too much,
Cheez-It,
like it's too bright.
one thing that Cheez-It may be banking on here is that Garrett Nussmeier is going to see some extended time. One thing that I am betting on is that he ain't going to get any sleep.
No.
I mean, like, if that's his room,
I didn't know that Cheese had a mascot. Who is this man? I just
And
thought
the
it was the
wheel of
square.
cheese.
Well, you've never seen the commercial? I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
I just always,
It's
I
a
just,
wheel of cheese.
that is true. He is a wheel of cheese with a mustache. But
I
I'll
wonder-
just think of like the square. Like I just think
Like
of
the actual cracker.
the actual cracker.
Yeah. No, they got a guy. They got a cheese.
They got a guy.
they got a guy.
I mean, I wonder if the room smells like Cheez-Its. Surely,
Oh.
right? It has to. There's Cheez-Its all over it.
Sheesh.
Could
That's
there
a
be
lot.
is there a messier snack? I guess the granola bar.
Yes, those granola bars.
Yes.
They
The
explode
Valley
takes the
Coach.
cake.
out into the room when you take a bite out of them.
Dust.
It's so annoying.
I have to eat one whenever I eat one. I get a bowl because I'm just like I don't want to make a mess.
It's awful.
It's impossible not to.
But so LSU's quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, signs a Cheez-It deal, an NIL deal with Cheez-It, who has the name rights for the bowl game. And one thing we were asking before was, does Cheez-It know something about LSU's quarterback rotation that the
Does
rest of us
Cheez-It know something?
do not?
Big cheese.
Does that cheese guy know something we
Does
don't?
he? So are there multiple rooms because they signed 4 guys?
Yeah, but not from
Oh.
LSU.
Like,
Right.
Not all 4 are from. the
Yeah,
same
they just
school.
signed 4 athletes here in bowl season, and one of them is Nussmeier. And, obviously LSU's spotlight and attention right now is on the quarterback room and just what is and how it's going to shake out here. And whether or not Jayden Daniels is at full strength. And I think, Daniels, if he is at full strength, obviously is the starting quarterback. But there's an opportunity here to start to evaluate this position going into spring with live ammunition, with a real opponent on the field with you. And this is for a football staff and for what LSU's trying to accomplish. And that's winning the game and closing out the season with a successful 10-win campaign under Brian Kelly, a bowl win. All of the things that are in line for LSU to accomplish are things that are motivating and obviously getting them prepared to play on Monday. But there's also a little bit of, hey, this quarterback room is about to enter into a new phase, a new season, a new competition, and 3 of the 4 guys are right here. One of them, who's been the starter all season long, who's got the least question marks, right? I mean, like, the one that we all feel like we know the most about or have the least amount of questions on is Jayden Daniels, right? Because we've seen him play more extended time than any other ones. From Garrett Nussmeier's standpoint, what you saw 2 weeks ago was a little different than you saw earlier this season when he had an opportunity against Southern, where he made some decisions that you thought, man, that's clear and evident on why he's not the starting quarterback here is because of just his inability to, put a premium on protecting the football. And then in the SEC title game, he still makes some of those choices, but he makes some more plays. And then the new rule gets enacted with eligibility staying intact for redshirt performers with bowl game action, and that opens up Walker Howard to play on Monday in some live action. So how they handle this quarterback situation for the bowl game is going to be interesting because, I believe this is a competition come spring. I think that this room is going to be competitive every single day. I think just because Jayden Daniels is the incumbent does not make him the clear-cut starter going into 2023. Well, how? What else can he do? Nothing for the 2022 edition, but the 2023 edition of LSU is a totally different squad with different skill sets and strengths that Daniels, if he can't make the throws consistently, he might be in jeopardy of losing his job because there's not going to be as much put on being mobile back there. Do you still want to run RPO? Do you still want to run a similar style to some of the successful things that you were doing this year? Sure. But the strength of the team, again, is going to be on the outside. And there's no way that Kayshon Boutte can still move like that and still make that play and him only have 3 touchdowns for the season. And I'm not saying that it's all the quarterback's fault, but you saw what happened when somebody came into the game and the ball was being pushed down the field. The wide receivers for LSU are their biggest playmakers. Now that the offensive line has been stabilized, if you've got somebody back there that can sling it and push the ball down the field to these cats and put it in their hands and let them make plays, that to me is where LSU has the best opportunity to win at the highest level. Daily, we're brought to you by Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Remember, Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works, #1 and a #2 business. Get in touch with Jude Barker and the crew. Can't log online, you got to call them, 225-776-2431. #1 and the #2 business. If you mention the show, you save 15%. Save 15% for Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works, 225-776-2431. John Moses, no chance Jayden Daniels come back and he's not the starter next year. The battle will be for #2. There's no way that he
Barker
was promised.
Brothers, #2.
There was no way he was promised that he was going to be the starter next year, John. There's no way. Because I got to imagine that Walker Howard was told by the time you get to your second season, it'll be an open quarterback competition. And if we're just living off of promises, right, all of these guys have been told certain things.
What was Miles Brennan told?
Now it's about getting out there and figuring it out. There's no way that Jayden Daniels was coming back because he was promised to be the starter.
Well, why would he
Jayden
come back
Daniels
then?
was coming back because he wasn't given the information that he wanted to hear from the NFL.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
So he would come back with the risk of not being #1.
He knows exactly what's in that room just like we do.
Mm-hmm.
He's did it more than us.
I mean, he sees those guys practice every single day.
Mm-hmm.
There was people inside that facility and inside that program that were confident enough to tell people like me who had information or relationships in there that Walker Howard's the best quarterback on this team week 2, week 1 during the preseason, that he throws it better than anybody else. Jayden Daniels recognizes that.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Nussmeier recognizes that. The coaching staff recognizes that. You and I were sitting in the press conference when Brian Kelly was asked about Walker Howard.
Mm-hmm.
He was blushing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? He was talking about a crush.
Yeah.
I mean, he loves the kid.
Yeah. That's
So, I
tough.
mean,
That would be a tough spot for Jayden.
Jayden isn't a tough spot.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a tough spot for a couple of people. It's a tough spot for a couple of coaches. It's a tough spot for players. But this is what competition brings.
Yeah.
When you play at the highest level and you recruit at a level in which LSU is entering, where they're bringing in players every single year at every single position, you got guys like Zalance Hurd telling Will Campbell his job's in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Like-
only playing left tackle, coach.
I mean, like,
Come here to play left tackle.
Will Campbell is a 3-year player in college and a top 10 pick at a left tackle and could play 15, 20 years in the NFL
Yeah.
as an offensive lineman. And you got somebody that's a year behind him thinking he's better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the type of program, that's the type of competition, that's the type of locker room that you're putting together. And when you've got 3, now 4 quarterbacks who all believe that they can win at this level, don't think that Ricky Collins in 2 years is going to sit around and say, hey, it's my turn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care who's here.
So we're gonna go through this again. Just
Absolutely.
Like we went through
Sure.
last year.
You're gonna
That
go-
was so
About to be in a
nerve-wracking.
QB competition for the next like 6
I know,
years.
that's what
You're
it
gonna
seems
you're gonna
like.
go through
I love it
this.
here.
You're gonna go through this as long as they recruit at this
Yeah.
level. LSU's never dealt with this at the quarterback spot.
Right.
And the
They've
portal.
dealt with this at different positions.
Yeah.
We've seen this shake out at running back. We've seen running back competitions that's gone throughout the year, wondering who the best guy is going to be. At quarterback, you can only play one.
Yeah.
That's the deal. You can only play one of these guys, and when there's just an eyelash difference of skill level or the ability to win games with them, it's tough not to be the dude.
I know, it makes me nervous for them already to think about that. That
Such
was
a
lot.
mother.
I
Right.
know, because I just feel like they went through so much last year with this. We all did.
Hey, look.
Because it does feel like if we're going to have this conversation about what's going to happen, if it's an open competition going into next year, Jayden gave you the best chance to win this year.
Yeah.
And then that's when you, I would
mean,
imagine there was nothing guaranteed to
I
help.
mean, think
to come
about
back.
it. The skill set and the strength of LSU's team in 2022
Was
was
Jayden Daniels.
still on at the wide receivers going into the year. Like when we were talking about this team, you were saying, man, you got Kayshawn out there. It looks like Malik Neighbors is going to have a breakout season. Jeray Jenkins has been consistent. Brian Thomas looks like he's going to be a player. I mean, you knew that these cats could bust a game wide open on the outside. For the first couple of weeks, you were thinking, man, they don't have the firepower at quarterback to really make those guys a centerpiece of their
Right.
game plan. They can't utilize them the right way because they just can't get them the ball consistently. Well, Jayden Daniels developed into a player and into a quarterback that really allowed LSU to become a winner, to become a threat, to become a problem for defensive coordinators because Daniels truly became a dual threat quarterback. He is a definition of a dual threat quarterback, somebody that you have to guard both principles. You've got to respect him running, and he showed you enough where
He can
he
throw
can
it.
make it. He can make the pass. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
can make the throws if you play off of him. Consistency in that department's got a bit better. And if he consistently can throw the ball at that level, like he made, 45% of the throws this year,
Right.
then he might be the guy. I'm not saying by any means that Jayden Daniels, by coming back, has lost his job.
Sure.
I'm just saying that Jayden Daniels is coming back for an open quarterback competition that he absolutely knows about. He's not going to be surprised if he's not the guy.
Yeah.
I think that he's been told, yeah, man, come back. Absolutely come back. But in coming back, know that you're fighting for your job every day.
God,
And if
that
you're
sucks
hurt,
for him.
or if you make this, you make some of these decisions that you made in the first month of this year,
Yeah.
then your leash is not as long as it was.
That's so much pressure.
Right? But
More
that's
than
what
last
it
year.
is, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what playing at LSU, that's what playing football at LSU is supposed to
Right.
be.
But this is it for him this year.
No, I think
Right?
he's done enough.
For
Even
college.
if he goes back, if he comes back to LSU next year, and let's say he's not the starting quarterback, and let's say he is a backup, and he gets some spot time and comes in and proves that he's still Jayden Daniels. He's still a dude, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you still got to defend him. He's a pro.
Yeah.
He's going to get a chance. Like, he'll make money to play football. If he went out this year, somebody would draft him. Somebody would pick him up. He'd be in camp. He would get a chance. He'd get an opportunity. By coming back, he's got an opportunity to improve his draft stock, play one more year under really good coaching, and this is also a positive mark by him going back and not being afraid of that competition.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people would look at it and say, hey, maybe I would just go to the league. Maybe I'll explore an option of going to a spot where I know I can go in and not have to get into this type of comp and just go play. But I guarantee you there's some pro scouts, general managers, head coaches that say, look at Jayden Daniels going back. That's a talented quarterback
Really?
room. If he wins that job, that says a lot about Jayden Daniels by going back and taking the chance
Yeah.
and saying, hey, I could have gone out.
Right.
I could have been a 5th, 6th, 7th free agent pickup in the NFL draft. But by coming back and winning the job, I'm now a 2nd, 3rd, 4th round pick, possibly, maybe, 1st round pick. And LSU's done some incredible stuff. I would not have believed today if you would have told me a year ago what Jayden Daniels accomplished in his freshman season or his first year at LSU. I wouldn't have believed that he would have been SEC Player of the Week, National Player of the Week for his performance versus Alabama, making throws in big-time games. I wouldn't have believed that. So who the hell am I to sit here and say today that he's not going to be the starter next year?
Sure.
I mean, a year from today, we may be looking back and Jayden Daniels could be a 2nd-round pick and LSU could be defending SEC Western Division champs again. But by coming back, he's in an open competition. There's no way he was told, if you come back, you're the starting quarterback. Now, does he get the reps with the ones on the first day of spring?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he earned it. He absolutely earned it. But 3 series later, Walker Howard's getting those reps with the ones too.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's just how it's going to be.
don't you think that there's probably an avenue where it looks a little bit like last year, where you had Nussmeier, Walker Howard obviously comes in, Miles Brennan, Jayden Daniels transfers in, and it's like one of you guys, like, you'll compete, but at some point somebody's going to hit the portal.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it feels like to me, where he's going to kind of run it back the way he did it last year in terms of Brian Kelly and how he's going to run the quarterback room.
I would be
Will it
prepared
be?
for the next 5 years to lose a quarterback a season.
Really?
If they're going to keep
Right.
recruiting like this,
Yeah.
where they're going to get Ricky Collins, Colin Hurley, whoever the next big dog is after that, they're going to be in the play for, and they're going to keep bringing these cats in, you're doing the same thing every year.
Yeah.
You're going to have 4 guys here.
Yeah.
One of them's going to be a freshman. The other 3 are going to be veterans. Somebody's going to have to duke it out, and whoever doesn't get it's going to leave. I mean, exactly what happened last spring when you had Brennan, Nussmeier, and Daniels. There's no way you finish the season or get to fall camp with all 3 of them.
Right.
And by getting into fall camp for LSU, like we said then, that was the biggest win of the offseason.
Yeah.
That was the biggest win that they could have accomplished by Brian Kelly in the spring game. Jacques, first question. What'd you learn about the quarterback today, Coach? Oh, nothing. We're more confused than we learn anything. He knew in that moment, like, I can't say anything to say I'm swayed towards one guy. I'm going this way because I got to keep him here all summer.
So if Jayden Daniels wins the job, do y'all think Howard or Nussmeier will go into the portal?
Yes.
One of them? Like, which one would it be?
I think
if you had
Nuss.
to
Nuss.
choose?
Today, I would bet on Nuss. Today, I would say that, but it could be this thing's so
And you could almost put
fluid.
Right. And that's what was then kind of where I was going to get to is like it almost is Jayden wants to play in the bowl game because he doesn't want Nussmeier to get another opportunity.
Yeah.
Like if we're competing, we're competing. Like so I'm
Right.
gonna do everything I can so I can play so nobody can see you again.
Right.
But if you're the LSU staff, you almost want to see Nussmeier just because you want to see Nussmeier in like live reps or
Nuss,
Walker
give it a
Howard.
go.
But Jayden's gonna do everything he can, I would imagine, to get healthy and be like, I'm ready to go because
He's
I don't
not
want
100%
another
yet, right?
sample size.
Yeah, there's just a fear of opening it up.
Right.
Well, why
I
take
don't-
that
full
risk,
game?
though, if he's not 100%? Why
Because
take
I don't
risk
want the
playing
fans-
Because I don't want to
bowl
lose my
game?
job.
Okay.
I don't
It's
want the
about-
fan base to
I know,
get
what if he
where
gets
they
hurt in
are.
the bowl game?
At this
You
level,
then got a
goes
long
into
off
the
season to
job.
get healthy.
Yeah.
like,
I
you
mean,
gotta compete.
if you're an athlete, if you're a football player,
Um,
you account for injury sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a game that you would say, this is the one, give me the all off season to get healthy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what
I'm
I mean?
QB1.
I don't miss next week's game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's you never want
A threat.
anybody to get hurt
Yeah.
by any means, but it comes with the sport, right? And
That's just a
from
scary spot to be
Jayden
in.
Daniels' standpoint,
He ain't gonna be on the sideline.
he's playing protector too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I got to protect my gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reason why Brett Favre didn't let Aaron Rodgers play for a long
Right.
time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
He
I
saw
mean?
what he saw at
Because he saw him
practice.
in practice, and he was like, "If y'all see this cat, everybody in the world's going to want him."
Yeah.
And
Right?
get-
And I think there's a little bit of that with Walker Howard. I think people know that when he's naturally gifted at throwing the football. I mean, he throws the football and people are like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny that.
Just like, "Oh my god!" And with this particular team, if you got an offensive line like LSU could have, LSU's bringing back their top 6 offensive linemen, and they're bringing in a recruiting class that's top 10 in the country. That if you ask me, what's the best group they got in the the class, it would be the offensive line. So one or two of those guys is going to add quality depth this year to the 6 you've got returning that had stellar seasons. You know, I mean, you've got the 2 freshmen, you've got the 2 best underclass tackles in college football.
Yeah.
You've got a couple other guys that you're excited about. So if you could protect somebody and put a guy like Walker Howard, who's naturally God-gifted at throwing the football, loves the sport, is getting coached at a high level, is thinking as if I should be the starter. You give him a chance out there. The next thing you know, you look up and you, in one game, Kayshawn's got 2 scores. Brian Thomas has got a touchdown. It'll look like the 2019 stat line,
Right.
where Terrace Marshall caught a touchdown, Jamar Chase caught 2, Justin Jefferson caught 1, Thad Moss caught another one. I mean, it's just like, my God.
Yeah.
This is football heaven, right? Where you've got all these guys that can just run, catch, throw. And if you got an offensive line that you believe, that's what LSU was protecting last year. They needed Jayden Daniels out there to say, yo, bro, when it breaks down, we need you to be you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, go be special.
Yeah.
You know, go keep the play alive and make plays.
Right.
And he did that a lot better than I thought he would. And
Yeah,
I meant that.
he
I
did.
mean that fully complimentary. Now this season, if everything checks out to way they're built, they shouldn't have to do that. They shouldn't have to ask the quarterback to run for his life every game. I mean, remember the prime concern that you had for Daniels was just him staying healthy.
Yeah.
You just can't live like that in college football. You can't live in between the hash marks as a 180-pound quarterback. It just ain't gonna work. But if you can stay protected and stay standing upright and looking down the field and have Kayshawn running a route, Brian Thomas running a route, and Aaron Anderson running a route.
Oh, Jesus.
And you got Walker Howard pulling the trigger.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we might hang 40 on your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you might not score.
I mean, it just
You got
it
Kirk
could
on the
be-
other side.
I mean, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
May
it
the
will.
best man win. May
Does-
the best man win.
Does it feel like people are still kind of chasing 2019, at least from the LSU fan base, where they want it to look like that as opposed to what it looked like this year, where
No,
you
I don't-
won 9 games and went to the SEC championship, and people are like, well, I didn't like the way it looked.
I know. I feel like
No,
that
I don't
too.
think so. I think 20.
I put Joe Burrow's stats from 2018 and Jayden Daniels' stats from this season in the doc, and you tell me what you see. It's almost the same. It's like pretty much the same stat line. Their first
I
season.
know people just don't think of it this
Right,
way.
well, and I don't know if people believe that Jayden can make that jump. Oh, here they are. Damn.
He's getting all his receivers back like Joe did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
They both had
interesting.
16 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Joe had 5. Jayden Daniels had 3, which
I don't remember him throwing 5 picks.
That's
I remember,
pretty interesting.
I just remember 1 against Florida.
I think he threw 2 that day.
threw 2 against Florida.
Oh, yeah.
They pick sixed him.
Pick
at the end.
sixed him at the end of the
60.
game. He took a
That's the
shot.
one that
Yeah,
was-
yeah. Damn it.
He might have threw one.
And then he threw one against UCF. He got lit up.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. That 2018 Joe is
That's
that was-
3.
yeah.
I can't think of it. Did he throw one against Bama? He was hurt that night against Bama.
He probably did.
They got
He
killed.
probably threw one out of I know in 2019 he threw one against Northwestern State, so
Yeah.
he probably had one throwaway pick against whoever they played in 2018.
That 2019 Northwestern pick was in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's when Todd Harris. I mean,
Towards ACL.
yeah, that was it for him. He was out there, coach. He was running around playing.
So it'll be.
Start.
I mean, this quarterback. That's what we were saying earlier this week. LSU's in the golden age of their quarterback room.
Yeah.
Because of just the competition. Mm-hmm. Just
That's
because
wild.
of the I mean, LSU's been having quarterback competitions with
But not good.
not
the best competition.
a bunch of C-level players.
Right.
Anthony Jennings.
You know what I mean?
Danny
Like,
Italy.
I mean, I don't want to throw people's name under
Right,
the bus,
like,
but I mean,
it's not their fault.
We've all watched the last decade of LSU football.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
It's
Just the
different.
offense was so ass.
It's not these 4 guys. Look, I mean,
You go out there.
you'd have
I don't want to.
ran through traffic blindfolded for Ricky Collins in
Yeah.
2017.
Oh my God!
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
Thank you.
How do we cheat?
I mean, good God. I mean, you would have done some
I'll take Colin Hurley
weird
now.
stuff
Well, he did do some weird stuff.
to get Walker Howard on campus in 14. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
he just
Like,
started.
Oh my God! Would he have been started? He would have been a 4-year star. He'd been Tommy Hudson.
It would have, yeah, and that's what they were chasing that for so long with the offense. Like you did that to Jarrett Lee, you almost ruined him, and that's why you don't see Walker Howard.
Oh, they
this
did
year.
ruin him.
He ruined him.
They shook him so much to his core as a freshman. For as good as he played his senior year, he still when it came back, it ate him up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
When
Like
it showed up,
still,
it was PTSD. When it
Absolutely
showed up,
it
it
was.
flashed again. And it
Absolutely
was
it
Bama
was.
every time.
Oh God, he was seeing ghosts
Oh,
against Bama.
he couldn't. He could. I don't know why that happened to him. I feel terrible. Nick Saban had his number.
Oh,
it's
God.
just like this is easy.
He's like, oh, I see y'all starting to lead today, huh?
Put 12 in.
Yeah, George Jefferson over there. Like, God damn it, I'm gonna have to come play this game.
Are y'all watching any of these bowl games?
No,
A little
not
bit.
really.
I tried
I
last
watched,
night. And I was like,
Bowling
oh,
Green.
dear,
Anybody
not
have
much
Luke
about
Fickle
them.
coaching the game for Wisconsin last night? Did y'all
he?
see that?
Dude,
Dude had a headset on.
Wait, who was?
Wait,
it?
did
Luke
he just leave
Fickle.
Cincinnati?
He just
yeah,
got
I
the
heard
job
that
a
this
week
morning.
ago. 2 weeks ago. I've never
Never
heard
seen
of
that.
that. It's like Brian Kelly watching the Texas Bowl. He's sitting up in the booth last year doing he's doing an
hanging out.
interview with the TV.
Just laughing at him
It's
like-
like watching the game.
this shit's gonna
Fickle's
look-
on the sideline with a headset calling plays.
Play sheet and all.
The one thing that sucks about these bowl games, man, and this is the world we live in now, is the opt-outs.
Yeah, everybody's opted out.
I mean, they're just
That's why I'm not
everybody's
into
opting
it.
out. I know.
I've
Yeah.
kind of I've moved on to the NFL for right now
Yeah, it's not fun to watch, really.
because I don't know who's playing anymore.
You don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Luke
mean-
Fickle's coaching.
I'm telling you, Alabama's in trouble versus Kansas State.
Well, Kansas State wants to beat.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You got a
They won.
hungry, starving dog going up against a team that's saying, "Where are we? We're in the Sugar Bowl."
Yeah.
They've had 4 wide receivers transfer, including Aaron Anderson, to LSU. A one-time LSU commit, JoJo Earl, was another one of their wide receivers who's out of the program right now. 3 of their offensive linemen that are regular starters are not in the game come Saturday. I got to imagine that Bryce Young and Will Anderson, this is in their NIL contract that they had to play in the bowl. Because the fact that they are not opting out is a story. Right? I mean, like,
Absolutely.
when you look around and see the players that are opting out and possibly the first and second pick in the draft, if not the first and second,
Are
definitely
playing.
in the top 3
Yeah.
are playing, somebody signed them to a contract that said, look, I'm going to give you all this money to come to Alabama, but you cannot opt out of the bowl game.
got
You got to
100K
play. It
for
doesn't
you
matter
to
if we
play
play in the
this bowl.
Sugar Bowl or if we play in the Meineken Car Key Bowl. You got to play, man.
I thought we were going to win a natty.
Right?
So
I mean, that's
agreed.
I'm just speculating. I don't
No,
know
no,
that.
I think that's-
I don't know this.
somebody-
But I mean, how in the hell are these 2 guys playing?
And you got Aaron Anderson leaving and JoJo Earl leaving.
I
and
mean, you
it's
got
like
guys opting out in Tuscaloosa,
the
and
dude
Will
from Ohio
Anderson and
State.
Bryce Young are playing.
The Ohio State dude isn't even playing in the playoff.
In Jigba?
Jigba?
Yeah, no, he was,
playoff.
and he kind of like came out and was like, no, I'm not playing.
Right.
I mean, he was like, no,
And like he's
I'm
been
good.
sitting
Yeah,
out
right.
all season.
I'm not playing.
my hamstring. And then if you're Kansas State, you could go back to back in bowl games where you beat LSU and Alabama, and
No
you
doubt.
could beat your chest like
No doubt. I mean, Chris Klein, that guy.
Look at me.
bro. He might get a gig.
He's raking him in.
He might get a gig.
Ryan Day should be nervous because if he loses again, if it sets up to be Ohio State Michigan in the national championship and he loses on that stage,
Oof.
oof.
Yeah. No, I know.
Herb's gonna be somewhere around.
Herb's going to that game.
Yeah, he'd be
no
in the corner
doubt.
of the field.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah,
the bar,
Arms folded.
glasses on.
Ryan, you want me to put a headset on?
Yeah, Papa John's.
You listen in?
I can show you how to.
I wouldn't call that here.
No, don't do it. Don't do
Don't
it.
do that.
Remember our friends over at City Cafe? City Cafe, located on O'Neill and George O'Neill, been in business for over 100 years. Make sure and stop in and check out Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, Dirk and the crew, where good friends go to eat, where good friends meet over at City Cafe. The menu is online at citycafebr.net, citycafebr.net. Daily lunch specials, Sunday brunch. Check them out at City Cafe, located on O'Neill and George O'Neill, where they've been in business for over 100 years. Shout out to our friends over there, Squeaky Miranda and the crew, where I know that they are fired up for tonight, as it is the opening to conference play in SEC basketball, as LSU will play host to number 9 Arkansas at home tonight. And for Coach Matt McMahon, it has been a very successful pre-conference run. But for the opening of conference play, there is nowhere to hide. You will find out tonight very quickly just where LSU sits as far as the pecking order of the conference goes, because one of the best, if not the best team in the league here early on, Arkansas, is coming in. We're going to talk to Coach John Brady at some point here before we get out of here at 9 a.m. to give a little bit of a preview. But for LSU, as they head into their SEC opener, this is going to be an enormous night for some of the guys that have had big non-conference outings. Guys like KJ Jefferson, who has been very solid through the non-conference play. Derek Fountain is a guy that has come on here of late. And then you've got to find some consistency with Ace Wolf. Adam Miller's got to find his stroke and got to get it back here, as Arkansas will be in town for an ESPN2 game that'll tip off at 8 o'clock at the Maravich Center. It's the worst.
I wanted to go, but
it's the worst. I think we're going to go.
Make it.
I would have to do an afternoon nap to make the 8 o'clock tip-off.
At least you can admit it. Like, I'm going to take a nap.
I mean, dude, the wall for me is like 9:15, 9.
Yeah, well,
I become a zombie.
You wake up at like 2:30 in the morning, Jordy.
I know. It's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah,
but
you're reversed your entire, like, your whole life is in reverse almost.
But yeah, an 8 o'clock basketball game is tough.
Late.
It's tough.
And you can't fall asleep there because it's a bad look for you. Like, people would be like, Jordy's sleeping at the game.
What happened?
But yeah,
That's amazing, though.
with your young wife, snoozing.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be. I want to see how LSU matches up in the backcourt, and that has been one of my. That's been one of my concerns here through the first part of the play of non-conference play of the season, where LSU's 11-1. Now, don't get me wrong, but Derek Fountain has been he's been a breath of fresh air. Cam Hayes has been a guy that has come on. Justice Hill is somebody that I think is going to have a big test tonight, and obviously Adam Miller. So it's going to be a hell of a test for Matt McMahon. I think we'll learn a ton tonight for as where LSU stands is in conference play when they have a chance to go up against one of the league's best. But it's a hell of a start.
Only 4.5
to conference. Yeah, I think they're just trying to feel it out. I mean, it's tough to gauge where teams are coming out of the 12 games that you play before conference because just college basketball it's a tough game to handicap early. Mm-hmm. Just because
you can take advantage of it for sure.
Absolutely,
if you know sharp,
if you know it, and you paid attention to it, you can capitalize on it during these days. Just because there's teams that are still trying to figure themselves out. Vegas is still trying to figure out who teams are.
Who's helping in this department, unintentionally, intentionally?
Who's that?
Will Wade. He's been giving out just, if you're listening to the Will Wade podcast, listen just a little bit. Throw out a couple feelers for who can win the conference. So I'd imagine if you talk about somebody that's watching basketball, he's staying up to if you think 8 p.m. tip is late, he's up at 10 p.m. watching.
Well, you talk about a vampire.
Watching the Big 12 Network basketball. It's I'm probably the only person that watched this game. It's you absolutely are. I don't even know
watching
what you're
Kansas
talking
State
about.
And,
yes.
Oklahoma State.
Why are you doing this to yourself? Nobody wants to watch this, and he's I can't help it.
No, he's vampire
addicted
mode. Yeah, I mean, he's one of those that you could text at 2:30 in the morning and get fire it right back.
Y'all would have been great roommates.
Yeah,
y'all would have been.
just up all night.
Up early.
You up? Yep.
Hey, hey.
What are we getting into?
A lot.
You want to watch that Nevada game? All right, we're going to talk to Brody Miller here coming up at 8 o'clock from The Athletic. We'll get a preview of LSU and Purdue. We'll ask him what he thinks about this quarterback rotation going into it, what he's made of some of the opt-outs here, and LSU heading into their first offseason with Brian Kelly. They've wrapped up an early signing period in recruiting. What's next for Kelly in the offseason, and we'll get a little grade from Brody Miller as he stops by next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Make sure and check out our friends over at Go Chevrolet, where you can check out the inventory online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Hour 2 of the Jordy Culotta Show coming at you next.
Give me a whip.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. All right, welcome back here, Hour 2, the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Wednesday. If you don't mind hitting that like button, share button, comment button. Remember, our phone line's brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group, Real Doctors, Real Solutions with Charlie Harvey and Jason Ramazan. On our phone line this morning, video linking in from The Athletic is Brody Miller, who joins us every Wednesday here on the show. Brody, good morning. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. How are you, buddy?
Show us your mug.
Good morning, and all those other holidays, too. How you guys doing?
That's right.
Good.
Doing okay, man. Doing okay. All right, we talked to you a couple of weeks ago about Jayden Daniels' announcement that he was coming back and what it meant for the program. Now that he's here and there's a new rule with the red shirts not losing eligibility in the bowl game, and Walker Howard could be accessible in this game, how do you imagine this quarterback room kind of shaking out and getting reps? And now we see Nussmeier signing an NIL deal with the bowl sponsor.
Yeah. So it's going to be fascinating because I think there's two things probably going on in this game, right? Like, you don't want to lose it. I mean, going from 9-2 to 9-5 would be a very awkward look, but you also have Brian Kelly, who also I think is the kind of person who understands this is about more than the Citrus Bowl, and that doesn't really matter, and you want to be able to look toward the future. You want to be able to use a bowl for practice reps and for looking, getting guys chances, and I think he does view it that way. You add in Jayden Daniels is healthy for the game, but still, he's a little banged up and all that. I do think it's pretty reasonable to expect you might see some younger guys get chances to play. One, Purdue is depleted. I think LSU's a better team than Purdue in a vacuum anyway. Then you add in all the guys out right now, which are the core of this team, their coach gone. LSU also might be in position to win this game by a few scores. So yes, that opens up even more for more guys to get reps. But so I don't have a great answer in terms of, information I'm hearing or anything like that, but I do think this is a good chance to probably, let multiple guys play because Jayden Daniels is coming back, and sure, he's going to be the front runner for any starting position, but Brian Kelly is also absolutely not the type to just be like, hey, this is yours. I mean, he has benched a returning starter before. So at the same time, I do think there will be a competition. So that should be watched this game.
Same position they were in last spring, right? I mean, as far as the quarterback room goes. I mean, and as they continue to recruit at this level, this will be the blueprint that we see for years to come, right?
Absolutely. And it's one of my favorite things to follow of like every time something happens with quarterbacks, fans respond with like, oh, this guy's going to transfer. Oh, no, this guy's going to transfer. And yeah, possibly. But I promise you that's baked into the coach's calculus. Like, they are aware of all this stuff. The point of having all these quarterbacks isn't just like to recruit at a high level, isn't to have depth. I mean, yes, that's great. You want depth at quarterback. But in the modern era where guys are going to leave, you want all these quarterbacks to figure out who the best quarterback is. You want more to have more chances to have them compete and figure out who the best is. And then if the guy doesn't win it, he might leave, and that's understandable. So it's not like this whole world is all bad. So yes, I do think you will have competition. I do think this is going to be the norm. I mean, you have Walker Howard and Garrett Nussmeier, two really great quarterbacks. That was never going to be a thing where both guys just sat at LSU for 4 to 5 years. It was, hey, who's going to figure out who the best one is? Or Colin Hurley in the mix in a few years, and Ricky Collins and whoever else. Yeah, one of those guys is going to leave, but it's about figuring out who the best is. That is how the best programs do it.
Last week, LSU, along with the rest of college football, wrapped up recruiting, Brody. LSU reels in a top 5 class in the first real session under Brian Kelly. What'd you make of the group that they reeled in?
Overall, you have to give it a good grade. But the thing with signing days that I think is I'm really just accepting, like, every signing day ever is this odd mix of you're very frustrated about one or two guys you didn't get, but then you have to take a step back and realize like it's all pretty good. And that's how almost every Ogeron class was. It would be like 4th overall, but man, you missed on, Jordan Birch or whatever. And I think that's kind of how you're going to have to look at this one, where this was a very good signing class. This was, I think going into it, we spent the whole spring talking about like, can Kelly recruit in the South? How is he going to do with this? And it didn't look good at first. And now you have a top, 6th class in the country. I think more importantly, it's a very well-managed class, I think, which you didn't always see under Ogeron, where, each concern has been hit pretty intelligently, and the cornerback room got a lot younger. And I know the big focus on Thursday was you don't get Desmond Ricks, and that stings, but you also added, and you lose Dalen Austin, but you also added Javian Taviano, you added Denver Harris, you probably going to add another veteran in that room. And the cornerback room got younger, and I think that's what they needed to do. So I think this is a very good class. It's obviously not completely over. Is it an elite class? No, but at the same time, I think it's one you have to be pretty happy with.
Denver Harris is one of 7 transfers that's going to come in and should make an immediate impact. Anybody out of that group that they pulled out of the transfer portal that you have expectation for?
I think one, I don't know expectation, but one I'm just really intrigued by, I'd say, is Parashand. I think he's one who I think they just love his physical makeup. They think that guy, one, he's raw. You know, he's not like Ollie Gay, but kind of in the sense that he learned to play football late. Also, they see him playing Ollie Gay's role because they think he was kind of, you know, he was so raw that he played multiple positions at Arizona. They were kind of figuring it out, and they think that guy, if he's in a better, you know, strength and conditioning program, and they think if he's, you know, better, I don't know, focused and whatnot, they think that guy can really achieve some big things, and he did good things at Arizona. So I think he's one to watch because he could just right away slot into being the day one starter at that defensive end spot. I think that's one that jumps out for me.
Yeah, Shan, 4.5 tackles for loss last year for Arizona. Denver Harris is a big pickup. He was a guy that LSU was closing in on late in the process last year and lost him to Texas A&M. What did they get in Harris, and what did you hear about getting him to Baton Rouge and kind of his recruitment to land him?
Absolutely. So the thing with Harris is his talent was genuinely never in question, like ever. I mean, obviously LSU wanted him a year ago, and yeah, I mean, he was on the Athletics, our midseason freshman All-American team when he was still playing every game for them. Like, what he showed on the field is a guy who is a day one, obvious, great SEC corner. Huge kid. Obviously, it came with question marks, and you know, I think, you know, we talk to people around Texas A&M. Also, we have reporters who are so plugged into A&M, and everything we got back was it's more like dumb kid things. It wasn't like he was a guy getting in major trouble or these massive red flags or like, oh man, you can't bring that guy in. It was some young kid things, and that's not that's not what Brian Kelly's trying to avoid that stuff. But I think LSU, as you've talked about, did its vetting, you know, absolutely had meetings, talked to every coach, counselor, all that stuff to figure out kind of who he is. And I think they came away from the perspective of, this guy needs structure. He's very young, and that is the one thing Brian Kelly and LSU, I think, have been, one, achieving, but two, definitely selling, is that ability to give structure and get the most out of kids. And then the last part, you mentioned, is recruitment. Everything I've heard is I don't get dramatic, but he didn't exactly want to go to Texas A&M. I think he deep down wanted to go to LSU a year ago, and obviously that stuff gets complicated in recruiting. So I think once LSU gave the green light, I think LSU was always going to be the front runner.
The wide receiver room adds a former 5-star athlete in Aaron Anderson out of the transfer portal from Alabama, a guy that LSU had a commitment from during his process and ends up back at the flagship school in Louisiana. How good is the wide receiver room next year? I mean, it's scary to think about how good they're going to be.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that should be you would think. I mean, that should be the clear strength of this team next year. And I think what's even better is going to this year, we were like, oh, they're going to be so good. There's so much talent. But there still was some rawness. There still was some, like, what do you actually have? And I think now you're going the next year on a point of, no, you know what you have. These guys have proven themselves. They've carved out roles. And now you are at least 4 to 5 deep of guys that you trust them to be some of the best in the SEC. And I assume this is almost, unless I'm blanking on somebody, the no-brainer best unit in the SEC because, okay, Booty needs to get better than he was last year, but still, I mean, he ended the year on a really good note, and we know he is an All-American talent at the very least. And then you have Brian Thomas gives you that big outside guy. Malik Neighbors, you could probably argue, is the actual best of all of them. I think there is a conversation to have about that. He is so versatile. And now Anderson just gives you that guy who, sure, he still needs to prove some stuff, but Alabama loved him. It wasn't like an Alabama wanted to get rid of Aaron Anderson thing. I think he wanted to go back to LSU, and he always probably wanted to go to LSU. And he gives you that playmaker, that dynamic guy who's going to make stuff happen after the catch. And, of course, he checks the box of giving you a guy who gives real return talent, which has been a real focus this offseason for LSU, is giving a true return man. So that receiving core mixed with all the experience coming back on the O-line and quarterback, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but there's no reason LSU shouldn't be a top 10 team next year.
I agree. Brody, one in-house and see if you had an update or heard anything on Sevyn Banks. Has there been any update on him and where he is from a health standpoint?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I don't have a great answer, of course, but it's been fascinating because I know he's just kind of been in the background. If you know anything, I'm all ears, but at the same time, I always kind of got the impression he's probably around another year because he needs to obviously get back on the field and prove himself.
Yeah, and that was kind of bringing me to my proposition of a Denver Harris, Sevyn Banks defensive cornerback. You know, I mean, with those two at cornerback is something that we did not talk about because I think Banks has kind of been forgotten about since he's been hurt. But if you get him back healthy and can put a player like Harris opposite of him, you've got two really high-end corners right there in year 2 under Kelly.
No, I think it's a really good point. That's part of why I liked the Banks signing when it happened, even though I knew there was a good chance that he would be very limited in what he did this year, because it was a zero-risk addition. It is a guy who, the stuff can be misleading, but he was a first-round projection going into 2 years ago. He is that kind of talent, and it's worth the risk. And, yeah, I'm never going to put stock in assuming anything out of him until he see it, because he did have major injury issues and then re-injured stuff this year. And that's not a great recipe, but he is that kind of talent. So yeah, that does add a level of, I wouldn't say experience is even the right word, but an element of kind of upside and stability to this room where you know you're going to have big talent. The room got younger, but you also do have guys like Harris and Banks who have played major football in college football, and you might add even another guy after that. So yeah, I think it's a great point.
What do you make of the personnel turnaround they've made on the offensive line in just 2 short years of Kelly being here?
I think it's a program changer, and it's tricky, right? Because we do have to, even though I want to give Kelly credit because they've landed these guys, it does have to be mentioned that it's also just a completely uncharacteristic, absurd run of Louisiana offensive linemen, which was part of the problem. O-line has always been an off and on issue at LSU because Louisiana didn't develop offensive tackles. Louisiana didn't crank out O-linemen at a massive rate. And all of a sudden, at least 4 legitimate, clear, no-brainer take offensive tackles in Louisiana in two cycles. That makes Brian Kelly almost to some extent look like he did better than he even is. But no, they've done the best out of developing it. I think they deserve credit for having those 2 true freshmen ready to go. And now to be in a position where, as Lance Hurd, who is a no-brainer star, he isn't obviously starting this year. He can develop, Will Campbell had to play. You don't have to play Hurd right away. You don't have to play Adams and Chester right away and all these things. And now you are finally at the point that I think Ogeron was never able to get to, of having possibly, if you pull off another class like this, a real chain of development and talent on the offensive line, which is what LSU desperately needs, and obviously then the upside comes with it. So yeah, I think it changes the entire height of what this program could be.
What do you expect here in year 2 or the full offseason of Brian Kelly now that he has his kind of program rolling? It feels like it's his now.
I definitely think it feels like it's his now. Really, there's the one class really that you could say is really not his, and still so much of the core of this team are his young guys, are his transfers and all that. And I think what you're going to see in this next offseason, and I use the Burrow example a lot, not because anything should be like Burrow, but it's the greatest evidence I've been around of, okay, it's one thing to be drinking through a fire hose for your first year, and, you're getting acquainted to things and you do pretty well. But you see teams really take a leap when they actually know each other and have a full offseason. I think that's when programs really step up, and that's Burrow is the best example, where he was able to have these players only workouts all the time, getting timing down with receivers, getting meetings with Brady and Ensminger every day. And it's not about quarterback or Jayden Daniels. It's about now you're going to see Kelly's program. They've figured it out. They're not drinking through a fire hose anymore. They know what they're doing. And now you have a whole year to be like, all right, what can you improve on? What can you hey, let's get this connection better. Let's adjust this. And that's where I think this program, especially under Brian Kelly and the way he does things, could take a big leap. It's I don't know if this team is national title talented. Probably not. But this is a team that has, I think the depth is getting there and the clear talent's there where, yeah, this should be a team that expects 10-2. I'm not saying they get there, but that's what their bar should be.
Brody Miller from The Athletic on Twitter at Brody A. Miller. Enjoy Orlando, man. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, Brody Miller checking in this morning.
Athletic
Make sure and read his work.
kind of fire.
What's that?
The athletic swag look a little fire.
Yeah, they just developed that. They just developed that new swag.
He's drinking iced coffee.
Remember RMB
nice.
Builders, Rhett Bourgeois and the crew over at RMB Builders. Great social media happening right now. Check them out on Instagram. Give them a like, follow, share there on Instagram to keep up with the projects, keep up with what they have going on. They got all types of stuff moving. from brand new homes that are going up, reconstructions, anything that you may need around the office, house, from a construction standpoint. RMB Builders is the best. RMB-builders.com. RMB-builders.com, and on Instagram. Next, it's your voicemails, your text messages, your call-ins. Have a take, don't suck. 225-229-7741.
No compliments. Why not?
That's what they called in last week when Jordy was like, "Y'all are doing great. Y'all are doing fine. Just keep going."
Little pats on the head.
It was. It felt like a teacher. Like,
keep it up, guys.
Yeah, keep going.
We love the effort.
I mean, you're failing, but you're trying hard.
It's good to see you guys woke up this morning and started the show.
Good to see you're here.
We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
You look a little icy. Have yourself a chilled coffee.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
I remember telling them, hey, listen, my job here is to make sure that we bring, big time football to a small town environment, right? And so you see on movies sometimes about the way a town reacts to the football program and what it means to everybody, and that was the hopes and dreams that I had for the place. And so our kids take a distinct responsibility in wearing that Z on their helmet. It means a lot to them. And then on the flip side of that, our community does a tremendous job of supporting our program, supporting the athletic department, supporting our school as a whole. And there's really a great relationship there that's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Thank you for the access, man. Looking forward to tonight. We'll talk soon.
Coach, wait, before you go, fix your hair again one more time.
Look at him.
Let's go. Yes.
Look at him.
What do you think about that?
Game day,
what do you
baby.
think about that?
Game day. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. Great to see you. Thank you.
You too, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. There he is. There he is. My guy. David Brewerton checking in. What does Harold Perkins do for this defense? What does he allow you guys to do?
Yeah, Perk, man, he's just so raw, man. Like, all he know how to do is make a play. But I love him. He brings a certain type of juice to the defense, and he's right alongside of me on the edge. He knows how to rush the edge. As a young guy, that's very valuable to the defense, being able to rush the edge. Making the quarterback step up. But yeah, they put him everywhere. Middle linebacker, outside rusher. Maybe sometimes he's going to be in the drop. So he's very versatile for our defense.
Question in that game. You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show live on YouTube. Catch it every day, 7 to 9 a.m., wherever you have internet access.
Oh, my guy, the host of Mac and Cube.
You said you wanted me to close it out.
I listen to his pod every day on WJOX 94. I thought I was going to beat Charlie. I didn't. You were fantastic as always. Have a great call in Missouri. I'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, man. Good
Later.
talking to you, Jordan.
Always. There he is. Cole Cubelic, the absolute best. Don't overthink it, ABC. When you move to a primetime slot in the SEC, is getting that billing, make this man the color commentator. He's the absolute best.
Ooh, I mean, what a pro.
What a pro.
Hi, this is Dan Canterbury. Join myself and the legend, Coach Skip Burtman, for Hold the Rope Tuesday nights on YouTube. You can go to @Hold the Rope, Skip and Cano. Skip, tell them what we do.
We've got a lot of education. We've got some people that can tell you a lot about a lot of things. In the area of sports, we have a lot of entertainment. We got a lot of energy putting this in. I think you'll like it.
So join us for Hold the Rope.
Play it during the football game.
Boosie. I want Webby.
Right.
I want NBA YoungBoy. Play the people that are from the city.
Right.
I mean, play the people that are
Give me
from
that neck.
Louisiana. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the best part about the Dome, really, is that they embrace New Orleans. And look what happens. I mean, you got Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara dancing on the sidelines with one another. You show it to the stand. You show it to the in-game crowd, and people lose their mind. I mean, they want to blow the roof off the Dome when they play that stuff.
Yeah, they do.
And they're playing well. You know what I mean? Like, it makes so much sense to play that entire stadium. I mean, play the Louisiana artists in Tiger Stadium. Made it fun.
I don't know. I think just the fact that we knew we were going to get them. Like,
that is fun.
Yeah. I've always been able to recruit players. I've always been able to get players. You talked about SMU. We signed the highest rated recruiting class in program history last year.
Wow.
In the only year that I was there. At Vanderbilt, we signed 4 top 100 kids, and we finished last in the SEC, for 2 years leading up to that. So recruiting players, that's never been an issue. It's always been, I always wanted to recruit the top end players.
Yeah.
And here I get a chance to do that. Anytime you work for Kim Mulkey, you're going to be able to recruit the top players in the nation.
I'm not sitting here today thinking that they got an impossible shot.
Yeah,
do they have
a shot.
an unlikely and difficult road to get there? Yes. But one thing that we can all confirm about that committee, about the playoff committee, I've got no idea what they're talking about. I got no idea what the prerequisites are. I've got no idea what they need to see to put you in the field. I can guarantee all of them love Bama. Yeah. They all freak out over Alabama because they correlate Alabama to television ratings. Mm-hmm. They think in that room that if it comes close and it gets close, we might as well just put them in because everybody's going to watch.
It is going to be close.
And that's the difficulty here of running this thing with human beings making the decisions, because at the end of it, it's all going to come back to the money, the advertising dollar, and how they can get the most of it. And they know a field that features Alabama is a more popular field than any other one that does not include them that exists, right? Like, you can make the 4th team Ohio State. You can make the 4th team Tennessee. You can make the 4th team whoever the hell you want to make it. If it's not Bama, the suits don't feel like the college football mass crowd, the most college football crowd will show up. And that's ultimately what they care about.
Jesus Christ. That right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay? I gotta go up to his office. I gotta put his mail in the guy's goddamn hands.
But they have been asking for their mail on a daily basis. It's all they're talking about up there.
Because the mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you gotta get it out. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. And then the barcode reader breaks, and it's Publishers Clearinghouse. All right.
I can't believe I'm going to be a mailman.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, live here on this Wednesday. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind. We'll be here with you until 9 a.m. this morning. Appreciate Brody Miller for stopping by, talking LSU and Purdue, or LSU's offseason here, as they get ready for Purdue in the Citrus Bowl coming up on Monday. Remember our mailbag segment, as you can jump inside of the chat. Hashtag mailbag. You can always call in 225-229-7741. You can text into that same number. You can leave a voicemail outside of show hours if you don't want to be heard live.
Exposed.
You can always just call, leave a voicemail. We'll play it. We'll get to it. Have a take, don't suck. That's the only request. If you're going to call in, we'd love to hear from you. Just know that you're on the air.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you. When we say hello, just speak.
Turn your volume down.
It's your turn to speak.
Let's not be mean to
If you're
him.
watching the show, turn it down.
Being mean. We're just telling them how to do it.
Yeah.
When you hear hello, that
Don't
means
be
that
an
we can
idiot.
hear you. And once you hear that, that's your green light to go. When you have the green light, give us your take.
That's the old school radio coming out.
It is.
What's happening?
It really is.
They would get so mad at the callers, like, "Hey, how are you doing?" Like, "Don't ask me how my day's going. Have a take." It's just like, bro,
Do you have a take or what?
You don't care.
You bum.
How are you doing? Like, go ahead. Next, hang up on him.
Any calls?
We do have a voicemail. I think it's Clint from the parish.
All right.
Oh, get your headphones on.
The crew. This is Clint from the parish.
The pirates.
Burning them redfish shop. That cool front brought them in. We limited out. Shit. About 30 minutes ago, so I still got to clean some fish. I just got 2 points I wanted to make real quick. I was listening to Brody.
How many beers do you think?
Oh, God. You just messed up the Clint.
That's all right. We can go back
Go ahead
from
and
it.
answer it. Yeah, we'll take it.
Good morning. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. This is Dex from New Orleans. How are y'all doing
what's up,
today?
Hey, man.
What's on your mind?
Yeah, man. So I just want to talk to Lloyd. No, I really did call in, and I appreciate y'all keeping the show alive last week. So I'm gonna give you a compliment again on that one.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you for the pats on the head.
Y'all are part of my routine every morning. I don't get to actually watch the show. I just listen to it on my drive to work every day. So just want to say thank you. But that's all. Just go Tigers.
Thank you, bro.
Go Tigers.
All right, go Tigers. What's your name? Where you calling from? Have a take, don't suck. Hello, you're on. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Yes. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This man is listening to the
Michael
show.
from Freeport. I just had one quick question. I'll hang up and let you go. If Sean Payton doesn't come to New Orleans, who's the best hiring candidate to replace Allen?
Well, yesterday they said Jeff Duncan tweeted out and said that Allen's job was safe.
Oh,
Which
my
is,
God.
I know,
Not the
Michael. I
best
thought the
answer.
same thing. I thought the same thing. I don't know, man.
Well,
Maybe it's just the inner boat of confidence that's usually the death wish for NFL coaches.
Tom Brady's going to come and be the head coach.
Well, maybe he'll pull a coaching Burrow and improve his second year.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Can't get any
be
worse.
Yeah, he just needs a quarterback.
Y'all have a good day. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for listening, buddy. Happy New Year. Did we miss a call?
No, we didn't. That was the call that was
Oh,
coming
yeah,
in.
okay.
You were about to be mean to Michael, weren't you?
Well, he had his radio
I know,
on. He
you're
was,
like,
all of the rules
Well, I
that
mean,
you
we
laid
just-
out.
we just
He
explained.
went over the rule.
We
He was
just-
like, I'm just going to hang up. I'm asking my question and
Yes,
hang
thank
up.
you, Michael.
He
Thank
could
you,
feel
thank
the
you, thank you,
the
thank you.
titter.
Thank you.
I'm gonna replay Clint's.
Yeah,
get him going again.
Oh God, we gotta call.
All right, now take it.
Hello, what's your name? Where you calling from?
I am calling from Uptown Kenner, baby.
Hell yes.
Jeffrey.
Hey, what's happening?
How we
Merry
doing,
Christmas and Happy New Year to you guys.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Happy Chinooka.
Hey, Lloyd.
Mm.
State Farm called. They need a backup for their commercials.
I need residuals.
With Mahomes.
I know.
You know,
I
the
don't
guy
know.
washing his jerseys. Yeah.
I think that they maybe have seen the show and they're like,
Representation.
this is a look. I might have to change it up.
Hey, hit me up. I got the hookup for you, man. I'll get you.
Give me an NIL deal.
I get you paid. Well, hey, since great segue, the Sean Payton, I've been putting out there this bold prediction for 2023. So mark it down. The report came out yesterday about Tom Brady and Payton allegedly coming to the Saints. Hard pass on Brady. Sorry. But Here's my prediction. I really, truly believe, Jordy, that Sean Payton, there is a more than good chance he returns, number one.
Don't tease
Number
me.
two, that Gail Benson gives him equity in the team.
Okay.
That's the hook. They give him equity ownership in the team for long term. The third thing is people don't realize he and Mickey Loomis are best friends. I mean, very, very close. And the thing that Payton wants, that no other team, all these other teams being rumored, they cannot give him complete control like the Saints will. And this is his team. You know, regardless of what we think about how this season has gone, this is a team he built from the ground up, and it still is his team. And that says a lot. And lastly, and here's the really bold prediction, the Saints go after Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers tears up the NFL with Michael Thomas returning, Chris Olave, Jawan Johnson, Alvin Kamara, Trout.
That's enough, Jeff. Get out of here.
I can only get so
You
hard.
teased me, so that's enough. That's enough.
He just hung up.
Good God.
Gonna come.
Good Lord.
The only thing that the
Close
sad-
the door. Turn off the lights, for God's sake.
The saddest thing about that is the most unbelievable thing was the Michael Thomas part.
I
Where
know.
it's like that's the only thing that I was like, no, he's not coming back.
I know, because you know what? Aaron Rodgers could really kind of be the play here.
Yeah.
You know, like be baiting you over here with Tom Brady.
And Rodgers
Next
is
thing you
just
know,
perked
Aaron
up.
Rodgers, because he's a free agent this year, right? That was a 1-year deal.
And he's just lurking out there.
Perked up, man,
You
I'm
know
telling
how
you.
he feels about he always throws subtle shade at Green
What a
Bay.
great marriage New Orleans would be.
He
with
would love
Aaron
it here.
Rodgers. Are you kidding? He would love it.
Ayahuasca down the street, coach.
Y'all not
We
think
can
that
get some
sandals,
today.
beard,
Just
this
a
the
Bourbon
home
Street.
Just a
team?
hippie.
Sean Payton's not coming back to New Orleans, right? This is just the home
Okay.
team, like wishful thinking. Come on, y'all.
I've talked myself into
where's
it.
he going?
Yeah.
Staying in
Dallas?
LA, probably. Yeah.
If an LA
He's
job opens
coaching
up,
again.
there's no. If an LA job opens up, there's no way that he's going anywhere else.
Yeah.
But I mean, as we sit here and speak today, both of those jobs feel secure.
Yeah.
It would just be
You never
McVay
know.
leaving for
Yeah, right.
TV
McVay would leave.
because they just signed with.
He would have to bully Staley out.
The
If
Red-
he wanted the Chargers job, Sean Payton would have to make
Make
that happen.
I'll fire him.
Or just,
He wants to.
I
yeah.
want that job.
Mm-hmm.
Make it
Y'all
happen.
make the choice.
Right.
And if Sean McVay with YouTube TV buying the Red Zone channel, I don't know. I mean, he's got that much energy. You didn't see that?
YouTube TV bought the red
No more
Red
direct
Zone.
TV, coach.
Yeah.
We're going to YouTube.
Wow. All right.
Big
We're on
for
the right.
us.
We're on the right platform.
Yes. But
Yes, we are.
Sean McVay has enough energy to be able to, if they wanted to do something with him on TV like that, like to where they obviously have unlimited money, and Sean McVay has enough oomph to be able to like run something like that with Scott Hansen or Chris Hansen. Have a seat right over here.
Chris Hansen.
Have a take, don't
Love
suck.
that guy.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Thank you for all you've done. Why do you have condoms?
This is Drew calling from Brownsville, Texas, and I did not think I'd get through on this fucking line.
Hey, what up, Drew? Welcome in.
Anyway, thank you. I just wanted to say Catholic High still sucks. Without the
Okay.
split.
Where'd you graduate from?
I'm calling from Brownsville, Texas. I'm from Gonzales, Louisiana.
So you graduated from EA or Dutchtown? Santa Mall.
I had class, so East Ascension. We're loyal to LSU. We don't send guys 5 stars to Alabama.
That's class.
Glenn Dorsey, baby.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
What's on your mind? Good to hear from you.
I was curious, not so much curious because I looked it up myself, but I just want to hear y'all's take on it. Because an Alabama fan got in an argument with me on Twitter talking about, well, we could pay our assistants higher than anyone else. Look at, he named some random coordinator. Oh, Todd Monken's only making $800K at Georgia. I was like, well, LSU's coordinators are getting paid more. And then he tried to flip the script. Well, damn, you're paying more than Alabama's assistants for only 2 more losses. I was like, what the fuck does that have to do in year one of a rebuild?
They're nervous in Tuscaloosa, bro. Don't let them fool you.
What's your shout out your Twitter? What's your handle?
It's Big Court Energy. I'm just kidding. It's Gooders 11B. Big L Court Energy.
Yes, there you go. One of one.
Yeah, one of one. All right, y'all have a good day.
All right, bro.
Brownsville, Texas is ironically called Brownsville, Texas for a reason, by the way.
See you, buddy.
Y'all have a good one.
You have a good one.
Brownsville, Texas. Never been.
What does that mean? I've never been there.
Must be a lot of brown people there.
You think so?
I'm glad you said it.
Has to be.
Is that what he meant? No.
I mean,
he
I
would
don't
have
know.
said that.
Like, this is the only thing I could think of.
Michael apologized, by the way. He said, "My bad. Hopped in my truck and saw you were taking calls."
Who?
The guy that called that right when
that
you
had
were
his
like,
radio.
"We can hear you."
That's all
it from his work
Yeah,
truck.
he didn't know. He didn't know.
225-229-7741. 225-229-7741 is the number. Remember, you can text into the show. You can leave a voicemail for the show. You can call into the show. You can jump inside of the chat and ask a question if you want to with a hashtag mailbag. We will make sure and get your questions asked and answered here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Always appreciate your interaction. Make sure and hit that like button, share button, comment button, as every Wednesday we answer your mailbag questions here on the show. We did mention that Allie Gay earlier this week had announced that he was going to skip out on the Citrus Bowl as LSU is preparing for the NFL draft. Not really. I mean, what's one more game going to do for Allie Gay?
Yeah, it's true. But it just feels like he's so LSU.
He is. You know, I think that
more you can see from him.
I think the more the story here is Derek Davis making the trip. So I'm confused here. Is he in the portal and making the trip, or did he take his name out of the portal and he's staying with LSU?
You can't portal and go to the game, right?
Yeah, I thought.
I mean, that's just a free trip at this point.
I thought it was like, you portal, you done. Like, we cleaned your locker out, it's over.
LSU
You saw what happened to
safety
Jayden
running
Daniels.
back Derek Davis is reportedly traveling with the team to Orlando for the Citrus Bowl on January 2nd. Davis had previously announced that he was entering his name in the NCAA transfer portal on December 12th. I have not heard any news. I have not seen any news of Davis making an announcement.
Is this because, do you think this has any relation to John Emery? Like maybe
John's on the trip, though.
I know, but I'm saying like maybe he's going pro, so they want to see Derek Davis at running back for one more trip around the sun because you have no Armani Goodwin. Josh Williams is hurt still, kind of. It looked like he wasn't 100%. You have Noah Kane, and then that's that. Like Emery might be leaving for the NFL, like he still has the opportunity to do that. He didn't play. Like, I would like to see him come back, and I think he should, but obviously it feels like he's put enough on tape now. And then so LSU kind of needs a running back.
Brian Kelly made some pretty positive remarks about Derek Davis at running back.
Wish
when
we'd
they
done it
made the
earlier.
move. Yeah, right. I mean, it looked like he was a natural fit there. It was something that he looked comfortable doing. So, I don't know. Maybe they've re-recruited him back. I think it's something that Brian Kelly will probably be asked about before the game, just because of this is very unordinary. I mean,
that's the first I've ever seen it.
I've never heard of somebody entering the transfer portal and then playing in the bowl
game.
I mean, I know a lot of people had questions about Miles Brennan, who had entered the transfer portal last year and then taken his name out of it.
If he could play in the bowl.
If he could have played in the bowl game.
Oh, God, that was such a disaster scenario. Do
And
you
he
remember
didn't.
that conversation?
Bro, but he hadn't played in like 6 months. So
He
what
hadn't
did
played
they
in 2
expect?
years. Yeah, like, what are you talking about? You're going to bring Miles Brennan off the street to come play in? He's been hurt? And it's like, bro, just run.
Just play John Trey Kirkland.
Just play. I wanted to see that anyway. It was fun.
It was.
The
It could have
touchdown
been
pass
better.
to Chris Hilton was beautiful.
Beautiful pass.
It was beautiful.
Get you drafted.
I mean, at first I was like, we could just throw all fade all night. And just
All day.
win.
They should have won.
Like, they just throw
What
all
if Kansas State beats LSU and Alabama in back-to-back bowls?
No, they're coming to the SEC. Sankey's going to sign them.
I think Klein will get a job off of that.
We'd be like, Oklahoma, you can stay.
I
Kansas
guess
State, come on.
Who else would have done that? Would it just be Georgia that's beaten both teams in a calendar? I don't even know if. Yeah,
Georgia didn't beat
this year.
Yeah, but they didn't beat Alabama.
They didn't
They
beat
beat 'em in
Alabama.
the Natty.
Oh, I guess they would have beat him in the Natty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To be able to say that you beat LSU and Alabama in a calendar year, or even 2 years, is not. That's rare air.
That's great for recruiting at Kansas State.
Well,
I mean, like,
bring back.
can you
Bill
imagine
Snyder.
the
Come to
Kansas
Kansas
State to pitch?
Is Bill Snyder alive?
See, we beat TCU this season. We beat Alabama, and we beat LSU. Come on home, kid.
He is alive.
Bill Snyder?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, dude, he gets out.
I thought he would be one of those guys where
Have a take, don't suck.
Whenever he called it quits,
In Huntsville.
dead.
What's your name?
Hunter Hall.
Hunter Hall.
I
Good
heard you
morning.
guys
Good
talking
morning,
about
buddy.
Alabama, so I had to call in. So,
Golly, just popped
Hey,
up out of nowhere.
He really
He
did.
did. The gulps
Yeah, the
come out.
phone ring, dude.
It's like stepping on an ant pile.
The trolls
Hey,
jumped
Katie,
out of the
we got
weeds.
Katie, we got a big night tonight in Starkville tonight. We got the Gumps and the
Alabama, I
Hump.
know. It's sold out in the Hump.
Man, Tide's 2-point favorite. Can't
Yeah.
wait to go with the ice cream with the wooden spoon. Get splinters on the tongue. That's always a classic.
It's good ice cream.
Is this
They
what y'all have
make
come
it
to look
there.
forward to in Tuscaloosa? Is it basketball season yet?
It's a basketball school.
Hey, we're still
They're
celebrating
good.
those SEC Co-West champs.
Yeah.
And my
Co-West
question
champs.
today.
That's right.
Hang the banner.
My question was, hey, do you guys have any Sugar Bowl suite tickets for your fellow SEC Co-West champ? I figured you guys be in the giving spirit. So
Are you making the trip?
I'm not.
Yeah, I figured the Sugar Bowl is
Yeah,
way
this
beneath
is
y'all in
below you.
Tuscaloosa.
11 a.m. kick.
Ugh.
Oh,
I know, it's
Oh,
terrible.
wait.
Let me put
the
my
Sugar Bowl used to
nose
be at
up in
night.
the air.
Used
yeah,
to
you
be.
deserve it. You've earned it.
Used to be.
Hey, we did earn it. No. But yeah, hey, Jordy, good luck this weekend. Hope everything goes well, and Happy New Year to all of y'all. And roll Tide.
Thank you, Hunter.
What?
Bryce Young doesn't have a natty.
Hey, Hunter.
He never started.
Hunter.
Yeah, you're right.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Do you think that Will Anderson and Bryce Young signed contracts for this NIL that make them? Why are they playing in this bowl game?
That's a great question. I wouldn't do it if I was them, but hey, this Alabama standard.
Bastard.
The program.
Hang
the
up.
program.
Later,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
Get out of here. Get out of here. See you later. Get
Hold
out
that
of
L.
here. Get out of here. Later.
Bryce
They
Young still
definitely
doesn't
got
have a
their-
natty.
They definitely got their insurance policies covered by Alabama, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask Dylan Moses about that.
Little Lords of London.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lloyd's in
Nice.
London.
Hey, and you were talking about players in the portal playing. Coastal's Carolina's quarterback, the one that's looking to transfer.
Oh yeah.
He
That's
played
right.
last
the,
night.
the one that's going to Notre Dame. Sam Hartman.
No,
Well, that's Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
That's Wake Forest. He's QB1.
Grayson McCall. He played last night for Coastal, and I think he got hurt.
Oh.
So anyway, hey,
All right,
so I
Hunter.
love college football. Y'all have been a lot of fun this year.
Later, buddy.
Talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
Hunter.
All
See you,
right.
man.
Bye.
Hunter Hall checking in from T-Town.
He did get
So
hurt.
nice. He's always so supportive.
Yeah.
Golly, he
Especially
got
for an
hurt.
Alabama guy.
Transferring and just hitting.
So his name was in the portal, and he played.
Yes. 3-time Conference Sun Belt Player of the Year, 3 times in a row.
Wow. What type of injury?
That's what I'm trying to find out. He was hit while tumbling into the end zone and never returned to the game for a 9-yard touchdown scamper.
Probably shoulder.
Great writing. But it doesn't say.
Scamper.
A scamper.
Yeah. Concussion, maybe?
I don't know.
I mean, Sam Hartman's
Ooh.
been trending to Notre Dame for 3 weeks, and he just put his name in the portal yesterday.
That's crazy.
Sam
That's
Hartman.
it's like Addison last year.
Yeah. Just,
Oh,
Take a visit
shit.
to Texas, throw him off.
yeah.
Broke his neck.
Did he get killed?
Look at that. I mean, just takes a tough tumble on a scamper.
Ooh.
Little neck bone.
Damn, he
that's
bounced
bad.
off his neck.
He did. He went to the, not only to go to the portal, he also went to the tent. And never came back.
Shane LeBlanc, upper body injury is what they said.
Yeah, it looks like his head.
Like he just got killed.
I mean,
Where's he going? He's just in the portal. He's not committed anywhere.
Yeah, he doesn't have a.
And I guess that could be also what's happening with Derek Davis. It's like an opportunity to show other teams what he can do. If you want to do him like a favor, be like, all right, I haven't gotten any offers yet.
What if he houses one?
No.
Exactly, if he goes 80.
I mean, like,
actually stay.
Derek, you can stay.
Yeah.
Still have that scholarship for you.
Look,
if you
Derek,
want
here's
it.
the deal, buddy. We've just been here for a year. We didn't know the roster.
Oh, well, he like broke his neck.
Yeah, he's got
essentially.
a contusion.
Cordell Music says Emory Jones played for Florida last season after entering the portal.
Where do you go?
He
What
went to
happened?
Arizona
He got
State.
Arizona State.
And
Did he
then now
play?
he's transferring from Arizona State too.
So what's the rule on the transfer portal? I
there
can
is
do this
not.
more than
There's-
once?
Yeah, you can do this however many times you want.
supposed to be
JT
one
Daniels-
time.
Okay.
JT Daniels has played in
4
3 Power 5 conferences.
Yeah, now he's playing for.
No.
He just transferred to golly, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, he's been so many places.
I know, but Rice.
Yeah.
Rice.
I mean, that's about right. That you just
If you can't play at Rice, JT.
You can't play.
I mean, it's over.
I feel bad for him. I mean, to
Start
go,
a flag league, bro.
There's nothing better than being a 5-star. Like, you can wear that for as long as you want. You get to go to USC, Georgia, and now
West Virginia,
and you got to start at all 3 schools. And he's going to get drafted because he was a 5-star in high school.
I don't know if he flames out in Rice, he won't. Get
I know,
drafted.
but that's what I'm saying. If he puts up numbers,
Yeah,
they're
if
going
he
to be
puts
like,
up numbers, he will.
They're going to be like, oh, he's a 5-star.
Yeah, he will.
Like, you can't give up. It's the same thing with like Kevin White, like first round pick. Like,
Yeah.
the Saints signed him. They're just like, maybe he's good. Like, obviously not. But I want him just to see.
He looks good.
Who's the biggest 5-star bust?
Taylor Mays.
That I could think about.
Taylor Mays, the safety.
Mm-hmm. He just felt like he should be better than he
He
was.
looked like he should have
looked
been.
Clifton Garrett?
Clifton Garrett.
Oh, that's a killer. Because we needed him so badly at linebacker.
Arik Gilbert could be up there.
Arik Gilbert could be up there.
Story of Arik
Gilbert. Gilbert could be one.
Back in the portal again, too.
I don't know why.
I know.
Just go to the league.
Where's he going?
I mean, he's only been in college 2 years, though. So he has to.
No, he's Kayshawn's age.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He did play in that 2020 season and then opted out.
I mean,
He did opt out.
Why? I don't understand why he would.
I mean, I guess he wants to get more film.
Wes Shin says Ronald Curry. I mean, Curry played in the league.
From where? Where was he?
North Carolina. He was a 2-sport star.
Basketball and football.
Played quarterback and.
Arik Gilbert's DMs are open for all recruitment. Trust God.
Is that what he says on?
He says that for real?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
oh
on
my
Twitter.
gosh.
You want to DM him?
Yeah. Yeah,
on the show?
come on the show. Ryan W says Xavier Carter.
Oof.
I didn't have that much
I didn't have that-
hope for
No.
Xavier Carter on the
But it was
football
sexy
field.
when it
It was
happened.
so fun to just watch him run.
Ever take a knee?
Ugh.
That's when you know that was brutal.
Chris Davenport was a 5-star offensive lineman that came here.
I played against him in high school.
Wait,
He got kicked out of a
Xavier
high school
Carter.
game, tried to fight our coach.
Was that the DB from New Orleans?
No.
He's a track guy.
No, he was a track guy. Ace Jordan says Ryan Perilou.
No, because he got you an SEC championship.
Yeah,
don't
he
speak ill of him.
He wasn't a bust.
No,
you don't talk about Ryan.
Don't you talk about that's my friend.
Clearly,
He wasn't a bust. He just.
You just wanted to see more.
I mean, when you saw him, he was a player.
God, there was nothing more frustrating. That and like, if you had to pick one between Perilou and Tyron who got kicked off, you're just like, I can't believe it happened to us twice. Because I was so in it at that age.
Oh my God, man.
Oh,
the Perilou was such a tragedy.
Because we needed a quarterback so badly.
That team was so good.
And
that defense
like,
was
he
loaded.
He can't play here. And you're like, what do you mean? Who's making these decisions?
Exactly.
Like
who
cover
said
it
he
up.
couldn't play?
Yeah, like unless he gets arrested, literally, like taken to jail, he's playing for LSU. Like, God, that's just LSU needed a quarterback.
I mean,
so
they
badly.
should play under the same rules as Alabama's playing.
Exactly.
Under. I mean, like Perilou and Tyrann Mathieu are never being thrown off the team at Alabama.
Ever. We'll send you to rehab 30 times if we have to. We don't care.
You'll come back in a month.
Or just smoke your weed.
Yeah.
You're just not.
You know what?
You know,
We won't touch you no more, buddy.
just smoke your weed. Just make sure that come Saturday you're ready to play.
go.
Just, I mean, that's all. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Let's not overthink this.
God bless.
What do you mean
sorry
you're
I'm
throwing
high.
Tyrann Mathieu off of the team? Like, how did that conversation even go? I mean, the fact that Les Miles
Who makes
caved
that
on
decision?
that, I would imagine that, like, compliance, because it was the inner workings of LSU.
But who gets to tell him to like fuck off? Like
I don't.
I think they have to meet with like the
if the
university.
head coach can't do it of the football team at an SEC school like LSU, nobody can.
So you don't think Les did it? It wasn't like his decision.
it's
it came
probably
from
like
I mean,
university
Les
thing,
had to
for
sign
sure.
off on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Les had to sign off on it because
he did it twice.
I just can't imagine that.
No, he did it more than twice.
With Perilou and Mathieu.
That's what I'm saying. Two fives, like
Well, I
I
mean,
guess
not only
Perilou
that,
obviously a 5-star, but Tyron the best player on your
if you
team.
have them, you can argue that you win the national championship.
No doubt.
That's two more
On
of
both
us.
of those teams. The 2008 team lost in triple overtime to Alabama, who went on to win the national championship, and LSU had a true freshman quarterback that threw a pick six on the last play of the first half. I mean, if Perilou is in that game, it's a totally different game. If Tyrann Mathieu is the one guarding TJ Yeldon on the screen pass in 2012, where Jalen Mills had to play because he was a true freshman, it's a totally different game. It is a evil game of what if with those two. That is
terrible.
That is an excruciating game of what could have been.
That's why
with
like
both of those
if
guys.
you're an LSU fan, that's why you're so scarred about even this quarterback. You've never been here before. You've never had quarterbacks, so you're just like that wound is still always able to be scratched. Yes, it's always open. So you just get nervous because you're like, well, we've never had a quarterback.
Then you get nervous and you just go back to Joe Burrow.
And then you just exactly
right.
Or Ron Perilou.
I mean, I really think that's what that was. I really think the football gods were like,
here you go.
You have suffered
so much
all these
and
years.
Watched ice freeze for the last decade. You have watched grass grow. You have watched paint dry at that position.
Grass.
Here is just here is an angel.
Yes.
Here is a football angel that we will give you for 2 years, and one of those will be the most magical of your life.
Enjoy it.
I mean,
and the year before that, you did not see it coming at all. You were like, it's fine.
I guess if you go back,
he knows how to make it audible.
If you want to start,
I freaked out when he did that against Miami.
He did it against Miami.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. First game,
I did too. I was like, we finally got a quarterback.
I mean, that was something that you haven't seen since like Rohan.
He literally changed
like,
the
he goes
to
the
play.
I was like, oh shit.
And then they score.
My quarterback
didn't even complete 50% of his passes.
Who was that? Nick Brissett?
Yes.
Running by himself. Anybody in this room, and I love Nick Brissett, could have scored that touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean,
the hole opened up.
It was like
Burrow saw something.
There was nobody in the television screen. Like there was nobody even like around him.
I was standing like right there.
Me and Stewie were at like next to each other at the game and didn't know it. Yeah, we didn't know each other then, but we were both in the same section at the Miami game. And was it Jerry's World?
Yes.
Yeah, we were both there and didn't know.
Wow.
Cool.
Joe Burrow standing in the middle of Miami trying to fight.
Yeah, he was trying to fight him that
like
night.
the first one over there. I was like,
he sprinted over.
I was like, we got a quarterback for
and
real,
then,
y'all.
And then LSU scores on the pick six, or was it a fumble?
Pick six.
Patrick
And the
Williams.
whole defense
Jacob Phillips.
runs in. And then they put the towel on instead of the turnover chain.
He
You're
had
like,
some
this
swag
team's got
on
some
it.
swag.
Devin White.
Yes.
Yeah, Miami had just got the new turnover chain.
Right.
And they were like,
Miami was
flexing
like talking about that game like it was going to be like an arrival
We're
for them.
back.
Yeah, they're back.
And like-
SEC school.
Like it's
National TV.
It's 30-3.
Yeah, right.
30-3. Like, damn.
LSU's got a quarterback.
We're putting a towel on. We Mike Tyson'd them. Like, I don't need any of y'all's bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm
like-
coming here with a towel, and that's it.
And it was Moffitt that put the towel.
Brandon Hollingsworth,
Slam
I
that
completely agree, but damn it, why do we open up these wounds so often?
Y'all really do.
It's hard to think about. I mean, you put Tyrann Mathieu on the 2012 defense. You put Tyrann Mathieu on the 2012 team where he's returning punts on that team.
I mean, Coach,
Who was the punt returner? Was it Odell?
They lost to Florida because of
A young
the punt
Odell,
return.
that's right.
And they lost to Florida, what, 12-6?
12-6. 12-6.
Tyron's
That was the
a
first day they played Jeremy Hill. They finally started playing Jeremy Hill that day. In the second half, they threw him a screen pass, and Jeremy Hill went 50 yards. People
33 is pretty good.
Who broke his foot that day?
Quan
Alexander broke his foot. He
had a big
Kevin
fumble.
Menor had 25 tackles.
Mm-hmm. He was just like.
that's
is that when Christian Lacater played like every play on the defense? No, it was a
2018.
different year.
Yeah,
okay.
2017.
Yeah, but Kevin Menor was just like, I felt like he was going to
That
down
was
the field.
Mettenberger's first year.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking at
a
2008
5-star
over
in
here,
that
looking
game,
at Perilou. Sorry.
Matt Elam.
Oh,
that's
Matt
a big
Elam.
5-star that didn't make it.
Matt Elam.
He decleated. Was it Odell?
Yeah, he decleated him and did the
Yeah.
And forced the fumble.
and he stripped him.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. And he had the fingers taped. It was just like, this guy's a
Back plates
menace.
out. Just
Got drafted by the Ravens in the first round. Like, it's a perfect fit.
yep.
DMT Cell says the only
He's
sad
in the
part about that
XFL.
Miami game was losing Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of
That
changed.
sucked.
I think that kind of changed
That
Caleb's career.
It would change the trajectory of that team for sure.
Yeah.
They could have been better than what they were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that team beat the hell out of Georgia.
Yeah. Like
beat
Well,
the hell
that
out
was
of
the
them.
Burrow awakening, though.
Yeah.
It felt like, well, obviously people will say UCF, but whenever that scamper, when he took off and did a little shake in the open field, like, oh shit. And what was Kirby doing with
the fake field goal?
What the hell? Like, Justin Fields is just like out there.
He
Like, I
faked the
see
punt
you.
with Justin Fields.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was thinking of. It was a punt.
Yeah, but he faked the punt too with
That's
Justin
right.
Fields.
And like he put him back as like the personal protector. It's like, bro, I see the quarterback out
It,
here.
it took Kirby a little bit to get
like where he's at.
You know what I mean? Like he had to make some
failed.
Les Miles type decisions where people. I'm sure there were some boosters and like people around like, yo, bro, Kirby, what are you doing?
doing?
Don't overthink
Jake
this thing,
Fromm
man.
over him?
Justin Fields? And then he goes and
Alright.
throws 50 touchdowns at Ohio State. You're like, I may have made the wrong decision.
Damn.
I just got the brake speed off of
Could have
me.
won a
but-
natty 2 years ago.
Yeah. Sorry, Curb. But he figured it out.
Still
Tookie
not a
Mello and Daddy TV. Mettenberger should have been the quarterback on the 2011 team. I agree.
Yeah.
You remember that
Les Miles
conversation?
had any balls. If he had any nuts to him, he would have put Mettenberger out there.
In the natty?
Before then.
Because
I mean,
that
if you
was-
were struggling to throw the ball the way that team struggled to throw the ball that season, and you went to practice every day with Zach Mettenberger, and he had an arm like that,
Spinning
and
it.
you had guys on the outside that could catch it like Reuben Randall and Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, and you
They were going 9 of 18
and
on
you
offense.
played Justin Jefferson and put those numbers out there with that team. That's why anybody who celebrates Les Miles it's a joke. That guy cost you so much more of what your history should have been written as. Instead, you're a punchline. You're the butt of jokes because of that guy.
But there are
I mean,
players that really still respect
I know.
him, right?
Yeah, but like I feel like LSU should have been a dynasty.
Yeah.
They
And we weren't
absolutely
because
should.
of Les Miles.
Because of Parallel.
They absolutely should have been.
It's not
I
Parallel's
mean,
fault. It's Les Miles.
Les's
You got a
fault.
dumbass at the helm
I
who's
know.
eating grass.
I mean,
Put his finger in his ear.
Like, you can eat grass, but I can't smoke it.
Yeah, right.
Or you can walk around the halls pinching chicks' ass.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And
You know
I'm
what
in
I mean?
trouble?
And y'all are throwing me off the team
Yeah.
for smoking weed?
Smoking?
And
Actually-
covering up this guy's acts?
You would have a press conference? I'd like to have one too. I got a couple things to say.
I mean, the interns don't want to be in the room alone with this creepy bastard.
Have a seat right over here.
But then when he was here, nobody knew that, though, right?
Yeah, they did. They
Katie,
were
I think
covering
they
it
do.
up.
Oh, like internally they
Yes,
did.
like in that lawsuit a couple of weeks ago that they were reading through a couple of the. I mean, like back
Leslie?
in 2013, people are like covering up for this dumbass. I can't believe somebody was like, "Finally, we got him dead to rights. Get him out of here." I mean, like, not only that, we don't have to buy him out. I mean, we don't have to spend all this money on this idiot. I mean, you got him dead to rights. You got people talking about driving him around campus and he's shoving his tongue down her throat.
That sounds awful.
I mean, like,
Think about kissing left.
Let me give you a ride home.
the report says they
Ugh.
pulled up to the athletic administration at like 10:30 at night. Les puts his car in park and is like, "So what should we do now?"
Oh my god.
Wait, athletic administration
Like
building,
that-
like on campus?
on
like,
campus?
The building like
The
right across
implication-
On
from the stadium?
campus?
What should we
Like
do
the-
now?
On campus,
Yes.
like throws the
Yes.
Escalade in
That's-
park. Like,
is that the building?
What
I'm
do you
thinking about,
say?
right?
Yeah, that building.
The building right across from the stadium.
right there,
That
bro.
building.
Where you get your tickets from.
Right
too.
there.
Oh, God. Les, I mean, everybody can see us. Like,
No, it's 11 o'clock at night.
but
Like
still,
they're coming back from football ops. Yeah, but that's how arrogant he was.
Like,
That's how he was like, dude, I can get away with anything
do
around
whatever I
here.
want. What are you talking
They're
about?
paying me $7 million a year.
And I
I mean, like, I can't even spell my name. I can't even complete a sentence.
toss dive.
I mean, like, I don't even know what I'm doing
No, the
out
toss
there.
dive, baby.
Toss dive.
I
Works
can
every
recruit a little bit.
Oh, God.
Just like Novocaine. Give it time. It always works. Toss dive.
3 yards of a cloud of dust.
Y'all know you can go left and right. If you toss it, he gets going downhill.
You know you can do a fullback.
You know you can't play action out of that.
Why don't you throw
Some
the ball?
fuck.
Why don't you throw the ball more? Because there's only 3 things that can happen, and 2 of them are bad. I was like,
Oh my god.
Oh, my God. We need to go. Let's go. Pack it up. Everybody,
who
pack it up.
hired this fucking clown, man?
Why didn't they? If you're gonna run toss dive, why didn't they do the reverse
doing?
more?
Then why did
ran
you
it one time?
recruit? Why did you recruit Odell Beckham? why did you bring Reuben Randall in? Why is Jarvis Landry here?
D'Angelo Peterson.
Malachi Dupree. Traven Durrell. Like, all these receivers. Just like,
Mark Cumbie, Les Miles lives rent free in your head. He
Absolutely.
does.
yes.
It's not
Every
He
fair.
day.
haunts me.
Who was the
He haunts me.
Ruined my high school years.
who made the diving catch that got drafted to the Bengals?
Cadron Boone.
No, James Wright.
James Wright.
Both of them. Like, you have these guys that you don't even know who they are, and they're like, I'm leaving after my junior year. Like, I'm going to the league. And, like, you have 5 catches. And I'm still going to get drafted.
He plays 9 years. James Wright played 9 years.
Yeah.
He played 9 years.
It's not even a starter.
I mean, Daniil Hunter.
Right.
He told Daniil Hunter he wanted to put his hand in the dirt. Daniil Hunter might be the best, and for a period of time, he was the most ferocious pass rusher in the NFL.
Like, but you can't play here.
You know what, Daniil? I think I want to put you at D tackle.
Jamar, guy looks like a 4 technique to me.
Jamar Chase, I think you should play DB.
Jamar Chase.
Be a great DB. You know that, right?
Everything that you're doing, do it
I
in
can't do it
reverse.
anymore. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. Have a great day. We'll be back with you tomorrow more. We got Chopping It Up with Kador this morning.
Today?
We got Mic'd Up coming up this afternoon. Don't forget about that.
No power hour.
No power hour this week with Shay Dixon.
Miss you, Shay.
Shady is, I think, he's already in Orlando.
Yeah,
he took a power trip.
Yeah, he's in the Cheez-It suite.
Power tripping.
All right, hit that like button, share button, comment button. We're back with you tomorrow morning.
Shady aftermath.
Power trip.